Hey everybody, welcome back to Miniac, and yes, there are some minis I have not done on this channel. In fact, there's one that someone said I should do, which was the R58 Coupe. Now, if you hadn't paid attention, I did do an R58 Coupe, but it was one that had a giant hood scoop on it, a purple roof, and you all probably didn't even pay attention to that car. So I thought I would show you one that hasn't been completely modified. So let's get to it. So here you all go. This is a 2014 Mini Cooper S Coupe. This is an R58, and it's in one of my favorite colors, pepper white with a black roof. Now this is a really nice little car, and I want to thank Baron Mini for allowing me to pull one of their used cars out for a video. Now this is one that you've all wanted to see, so we're going to go over this car. Now there's not much different between this and a regular R56 hatchback. However, the Coupe and the Roadster are not based off the R56 hatchback. They are actually based off the R57 convertible, which is why they actually weigh more than the hatchback. Inside we have the dashboard everyone knows from the R56. We even have seats that everyone knows from the R56. In fact, I had these in my 2008 R56. So there we go. We got the same seats, we got the same, pretty much same interior. This one's an automatic though. This is the 6-speed Aisin automatic. Now naturally, one of the obvious things you'll notice is there's no back seat because there's this cool looking pod thing behind each rear seat. Now the way this car is shaped, the windshield actually rakes back much further and goes into this roof. Now, some people think that this is a hardtop convertible. It isn't. Some people say that it looks like a backwards baseball cap. Yeah, I guess I could see that. Sure, we'll go with that. Really, it has to do with the fact that the rear spoiler, and it is an actual spoiler, is affixed in this manner. Now, if you look through, it actually does channel air down through there. And I have a feeling that this probably is much more aerodynamic than even the hardtop, as it pulls air down over this and then down this way over the retractable spoiler, channeling air even further. So this car squats down and probably holds the road better than any hardtop. In fact, Mini had apparently toyed with the idea of making an R58 GP back in 2013. They had a test car out that people saw that never made it to production. But can you imagine a GP in this shape? Would have been pretty cool. Now, of course, under the bonnet, we have a 181 horsepower N18 motor. Now, engine's a little dirty. I apologize for that. But good little engine. The N18 is probably one of the more popular ones for its reliability. And in this one, it's no exception. This has about 40,000 miles, give or take. I think 44,000. So, good little engine, good little car. And they apparently added some heat shielding here, so they must have been having issues with this very hot turbo heating this up right here. So much like the R56 hardtop, the R58 is also a hatchback, except with a much bigger, much heavier hatch. And there you go. Big trunk space. Actually, this is more trunk space than the hardtop. This is a removable panel here. If you really wanted to take it out, you could. And then this shelf, if you pull these tabs, it comes out as well. So you can take all that out. But this is more hatchback than even the hardtop. I'm pretty sure I could fit myself in there. But we're not going to try that today. No. Now, of course, inside it is all Mini Cooper S. There is this ceiling, obviously, nice anthracite headliner. But what's interesting about it is you definitely feel like you're more closed in this particular interior. You get in, you shut the door, it feels more compact. It feels more boxed in. And I actually really think it's interesting. Now, naturally, some people would probably hit their head on this roof. I happen to be about 5'9", I don't have that problem. But then again, I also have the seat reclined back pretty far. So if I brought it up to my normal driving height, yeah, it's a little tight. And as you can see, there's these recesses into the roof here. That is for your head, obviously, but it's also for your racing helmet if you were to race one of these. It's a fun little car. I wouldn't mind owning a coupe. In fact, I probably should at some point. But this is just a cool little car. Now, some other little quirks in here that are kind of interesting. For some reason, because of the reduced cargo space, they actually make the glove box door bigger. So it's actually recessed on the inside so it can hold more stuff. Now, this right here, I was never sure what this was for until I realized that the coupe and the roadster were based off of the convertible, and then it made sense. This is where the openometer would, I believe, plug into next to the tack. So they plugged it off because they obviously didn't need it. And of course, the nice checkered trim on the dash. And if you open it up, plenty of storage. So lots of extra storage. Checkered trim throughout the interior pretty much. Even the seats are checkered. Now I could go on a drive with this car, but I'm not going to because for all intents and purposes, this is an R56 hardtop. This is the same engine, same transmissions that you would get. It's basically the same car. So aside from the fact that this one's a coupe, they aren't that much different. This one weighs a little bit more than the hardtop, oddly. But they're not much different, and for that reason, I'm not going to drive it. On top of that, it's a used car, and I don't want to take one of their used cars out when they might have a customer that comes in and wants to buy it. But this is my first time actually sitting in a Cooper-S coupe where I've actually gotten to play with it a little bit, as it were. And I think it's a nice vehicle. I actually really like it. In fact, I would have loved to have possibly owned one at some point, but the option never came up. Situation never arose where I could actually get one, so I never did. But I wouldn't mind having one. And the funny thing is, because this car was so quirky, there are very few of them out there. They are incredibly rare. Not quite as rare as the Club Van, not quite as rare as the Paceman. The Mini is already a niche brand, so these cars were even more niche than that. I mean, they went even further. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like below. Don't forget to comment. I read your comments all the time, and I'll respond to them if I have the time to. And I usually do, so you'll get responses pretty quick. But check out my playlist on... It either is going to be obscure minis, or it's going to be unique minis, or it's going to be a playlist on minis that are no longer around. More than likely, this will just be in the playlist for the 2nd Gen Mini Cooper. So go check out that playlist at the end of this video. And as always, life is too short to drive a boring car. So, drive a Mini. In fact, maybe I'm going to see if I can take this one out for a drive. Granted, it's an automatic, but it's not terrible. I'll see y'all in the next video.